An incredible chase for England on day 5, their second highest ever run chase. Another great win at home for this team. In the other dressing room, it's hard to escape the fact that no team has ever lost a test match in 148 years of the format after scoring 5 centuries. And yet India today have made their own history. Duckett was magnificent. It somehow felt inevitable, but England go 1-0 up. And India have now lost 7 of their last 9 test matches. Pezza.
Yeah, scary. Scary because there's so much history continually being made by this side, but this now felt a little sterile, like they're normalising history, okay. England, and Stokes hasn't even made insane comments after the game. So that online, tribally, there's less and less to work with. This chase was we called it yesterday. It's no like I don't mean to piss in our own pockets, but there felt like an inevitability about it. Yeah, and they do it at no time in history, flat deck or not, is 370 easy to get or gettable. But they do it clinically, unruffled, machine-like, and Australia didn't win their last game. So we will find things. Don't worry, we will find things to go at. Yeah. But it's just flowers for England. Stokes was right. Duckett's the best. India was slop. Australia didn't win the World Test Championship. It's not a good time.
No, it's not.
It's not a good time. So, but fair play.
Well, what is a good time is TGC live on stage. And you know what? TGC will be in Birmingham live next Thursday. That's right, Birmingham fans. And people just from Birmingham or just around the country, generally speaking, in that area.
Yeah, fly in.
We are going to be with Jimmy Anderson on stage next Thursday. Is that day 1 of the second test match, or is it day 2?
2, I think. Okay, I don't know.
Well, do your own research on that. Yeah. But we'll be there next Thursday. We're flying out back to the UK. Obviously, we've just been there, but back again on Monday. So we'll be there. And then for day 4 of the Lord's Test match, it's a Sunday night, we'll be with Stuart Broad at the Eventim Apollo. So come along and see us live. Tickets at greycricketer.com or hit the link in the description. They are wild nights, they're fun nights, they're hilarious nights. We don't film them, we don't record them, and there's a reason for that, because that's when people get to say things that they want to say, including people from the audience.
Not in a defamation sense or un-PC. Yeah, but you got to come to see.
Yeah, and I've got to say, England fans, Today is a good moment for you, and you know it's going to be a good series. You know it's going to be a good series because India have given it everything in some ways in this game. Now, let's talk about Ben Duckett. Let's talk about Ben Duckett. It's 149. I think it was 100 off about 111 balls. I think it was something like that in the end. Dropped on 97.
Yeah. Dropped on 97.
So very lucky. Dropped on 97, but it was 149 in a chase. He ends up being player of the match, of course, 62 in the first innings as well. The back foot play and the driving, obviously magnificent, but the highlight for me, Pezza, the reverse sweeps out of the rough to Jadeja were just, he is up there with the best in the world at that shot. He clubbed one for 6 over mid-wicket. He was on 98. He gets to 100 with the shot. I believe it's 31 runs from that shot from 12 attempts. Vatushan Ahantharaja, friend of the show, ESPN Cricket Info, he wrote in his piece, he makes a great point in the article that Stokes struggled with the same ploy, reverse sweep against Jadeja out of the rough. He's been out to him 7 times in tests with that ploy, Stokes has, and Duckett has never been out to Jadeja and also has the highest ever strike rate of anyone that's ever faced him in Test cricket. That's a pretty good record. The conversation about Duckett now, after his 6th Test 100, is that he is very much in the conversation anyway about, is he the best 3-format player in the world? I think other guys do good things too, but this is an unbelievable chase once again, and Duckett, who puts on 188 with Crawley at the top there, it's awesome. It's remarkable.
This motherfucker's always scoring runs. Yeah. Ben Duckett. And he, you can't bowl to him. He's extremely frustrating to watch when you're watching and wanting him to get out. Right? But I am 100% and this matters obviously, but because people wait to see who are the podcasters going to endorse as players. I am 100% in the corner of like, this guy is one of the best batters in the world and has been for several years. He's never given one about milestones before, but I think he is now. 600s, 1450s, he averages 44 and strikes at 88. As an opening bat, it's a fourth innings 149 to win the game, chasing 370. Historic. Now
pretty good.
Yeah, it is good.
Pretty good.
But there's a funny, there's a weird thing with Ben Duckett because he is like a spirit animal of baseball. He is almost like institutionalized as a project player of this cultish revolutionary style like of cricket that people are cynical about because they haven't lifted the mace, etc., and they've said some insane things before. But like in and of himself, he's putting up numbers and putting pressure on bowlers that has this like dual effect. Not only do his runs matter, but he's tiring guys out. He's like knocking them off their equilibrium. I'm sure it makes the batting job for his teammates easier. This guy is a very, very valuable player. He's one of the best in the world. He should be thought of that way, and I think people have been like, truly, we say this on the internet, you know, like don't be sleeping on him. People have been sleeping on Ben Duckett. They're like, it's just a diminutive little baseball thing, and it doesn't look like an alpha to me. So it ends up getting out, but I'm glad that he has something memorable and substantial on the CV to back up the fact that he's one of the best bats in the world. I think it's his third highest score as well. I mean, it's always so busy and like there's a left-handed element where it just looks so much better as well. And it's not luck, mate. Like I was talking to somebody this morning who's like a high-level technician at the highest level, and he's involved in coaching, and just saying like as an opening bat, his fundamentals and his mechanics are outstanding. His hands in particular, and the way he can manipulate the ball, where he can take he can manage balls in and around the stumps, and when they're nipping away, so his defense in a lot of ways, even though he attacks a lot, is good. His shot selection is incredible. It's all flowers to Ben Duckett, which is through gritted teeth in Australia, but you got to hand it to the guy.
Well, he's also a great watch because he never leaves the ball. Obviously, he actually
he left one though.
He left two in a row off Bumrah, which actually that's actually Bumrah's greatest success in the game. That Duckett left two balls.
That's it. People are like, Bumrah went wicketless in the fourth inning. Should we be worried? It's like he made Duckett leave two.
Yeah, so
swings and roundabouts.
1-1 India. Yeah. I was going to say something about Duckett, and I forget what it is now.
Because I interrupted you. It's my fault.
Oh, well, I guess we'll never find out what it is, but I bet it was going to be good. Let's talk about the rest of England, Pezza. So Crawley makes 65, obviously in that stand of 188.
Into the series.
Root makes 53 red. He does that pretty easily, I suppose. But like for me, like with the run chase generally, it is the composure, which is like just the incredible thing. I mean, England... at lots of different times in the last few years they felt like storm chasers that you see in like Oklahoma or Nebraska, where like they're driving down like this eternal highway and there's a fucking tornado on top of a Chevy. And like I'm watching it and I'm scared. I'm terrified. And they're like, oh wow, isn't this a beauty? You know, and the scores of a run chase, we all know what it's like in a big run chase where you get scared of the score. You get scared of the bowling attack, you get scared of plays and misses, and the fielding team gets excited, the crowd that's built up, you know.
It's instinctive to us. It's like a cat with a bird.
Exactly,
you know,
right.
A human with a snake. You know how to react.
Meanwhile, I'm thinking, get me out of there. Exactly. I'm scared. I'm frightened by this. Now, England, they're happy to chase the storm. They want to talk about it, of course, but now it doesn't matter to me per se that... the wickets are flat, India, one bowler, drop catches, whatever. But like, for instance, in the run chase, so live, Jadeja has Root plumb LBW.
Oh, how is that? How is that missing?
Going over the stuff.
That was just salmon.
Yeah, maybe it's because I've seen that in India a million times against every team.
And the way Jadeja runs towards it, it's like, oh, that's out.
Exactly.
That's just out.
So it's given not out correctly. At that moment, there's still 92 to win. So there would have been 5 down. And so like, you still think in that moment, okay, it almost makes you appreciate how much 370 is to score, like 350 in the final day, given they were 21 for none overnight. So, you know, they needed 102 from the final session, a slightly extended session, but... you still think in those moments, these little chances that it's like, oh yeah, it's actually really hard to chase that amount. Yet they've done it so easily and they've got so much form about how they go and chase that like they are these storm chasers, but with experience where it's like you just be calm, you be relaxed, you trust the process, which I know is a new age, you know, professional sport wanky term, but they've just got so many reps now scoring these ridiculous totals that they just calm and they just, walk it in the end.
So in the game itself, obviously, Prasad Krishna gets Crawley, he gets bowled, Duckett's gone, Harry Brook goes for a golden duck, Shuttle Takua comes into the game 2-2.
Couple of great seeds.
Might be the only ones of his tour as well. I would have thought. Four for 250 in normal cricket, that's like game chasing 370, cloudy skies, getting into the final hour. That's game back on. Tamasha, India running around, appealing like there's a fire. They're on fire. And then the Jadeja review. He then gets Stokes. They're 5 for 300. They're still in.
Yeah.
And Jamie Smith just comes in like keeper's innings. And I want to say this about Bazball. Like, I think the part that people are missing amid the cooing like pigeons over statistical milestones and strike rates and stuff is the very impressive mental resilience. Like you can't name many cricketers or cricket teams that can endure 5 centuries made against it in a game, as well as the menace of arguably the greatest bowler of all time, the conditions against them, who still manage to trust their methods, even as it gets closer and the clouds are rolling in and stuff, just to keep their cool, strum it off their cocks and breeze their way to a win, you know? So there's a mental side to Bazball as well, which when they lose, we call it a cult. And when they win, we think entertainers.
Exactly to that point, except for the end of day one, I don't think England have been objectively losing the game at any point, such as two things, really, like India falling over a couple of times at the end of their batting innings, and also England just hanging in there, like they would have every right to just like drop their bundle and just think like this game is gone. We're now playing for a draw. Like at 4:30 for 3 towards the end of day one, a lot of teams would think like, okay, we're playing for a draw now. Like a lot of teams would think that way. I would say, so 5 of the last 7 wins at Headingley, the team winning has chased more than 250. Good news for Australia. There's no Headingley Test match in 2027. They're going to play to the Aegeus Bowl instead, which is good news for me. So Stokes will feel very vindicated for his decision at the toss. You obviously can't quite escape how India played the game, yet any other day they just about would have done enough to win this game, right? But I would also be right now, if I'm England, I smell blood in the series, and if I can just figure out a way to understand how the World Test Championship works, I would be like, we've got a great chance to kickstart our campaign to get ourselves in the mix for the final in 2 years' time, which I know is a long way down the track, but they are playing very good cricket so far in this one Test match. India threw a lot at them, 500s, best bowler in the world, etc., and India would be going back to the drawing board being like, I don't know how we get a game here.
Totally. I mean, I know Jaiswal, he made a wonderful 100 on day one, but quite clearly, I don't know if this has been reported, but he lost his eyesight after that. So, we're wondering if how Bumrah's body's going to hold up. Jaiswal's mince pie's obviously no good either. So just draft behind him as well. I agree. When you have so many players in the Indian team who finish that game, who can say at a personal level, I achieved milestones that have elevated my career and things that should really be quite memorable for me forever, and to still walk away from the game going like, we pretty much got dusted. I know it was final hour and a big chase and stuff, but there was a level of sterility and ruthlessness and control and almost like inevitability. I don't think it's revisionist to say that, given we were kind of calling it in the days leading in as well. Like the dual psychological dent here is that whatever India thought it had, it was not enough. So how much do you need against England, particularly if they bowl first, which we're all saying at the start was a correct decision from Stokes.
We were, it was fairly obvious.
It went the way that we all expected it to go.
Yes.
But seriously, how much do you need? How much is enough, as Tim Rogers sung from UMI in 1994.
So let's get into the last thing, which is where to for India. Set at the top there. First team to lose a test with 5 centuries have been made. Rishabh has scored hundreds in each innings in a losing side. Great satisfaction for him.
That's good for him.
India's last 9 tests have been 1 win, 1 draw, 7 losses. Let's go through a couple of the names here. Shuttle Takor gets 2 wickets and 2 balls somehow. maybe a testament to the high wire act that England play their cricket in, that, you know, you're always in the game, I suppose. Nitish Kumar Reddy was near enough India's best batter in the series, a Boxing Day 100 as well in Australia. He would be in and around the next game, I would have thought. Hard to imagine better times for Karen Nair to come in to bat in each innings. That didn't quite work out. Sai Sudarshan appears to have already been figured out. Siraj took 2 wickets for the match. Prasid Krishna went at 6s in each innings. In fact, his 5 wickets in an economy of 6.28 is the most expensive in India's test history. These are all negatives. Some guys did play well. Gambier said this. He said, "We will have to give them time. Earlier, we used to have 4 fast bowlers in the squad with an experience of more than 40 tests. It doesn't make such a big impact in one day or T20 matches, but when you go to Australia, England or South Africa for test, experience matters. These are early days. If we start judging our bowlers after every test, how will we develop a bowling attack? Outside of Bumrah and Siraj, we don't have that much experience, but they have quality, which is why they are in this dressing room. But we have to keep backing them because it's not about one tour. It's about building a fast bowler battery that can serve India for a long time in Test cricket."
So it's a project.
It's a project now,
and the other 9 tests were projects as well.
It's it's hard to escape the thought of where would this team be without Bumrah, but he does play. He is in the team, so that's got it sort of redundant. But this has sort of always been a bit of the problem with India with their a pace attack away from home. I know Nasser said after the game that they're missing. They've got these great all rounders in India with spinning decks and the guys can bat and score runs. Ashwin, Axar Patel, Jadeja's been one of the best players of the generation. But away from home, you need that seaming all rounder. And Shardul Thakur was actually pretty good a couple of years ago in England. I mean, I cannot imagine he's fit the way he played this game, or he'll be playing the next game. So there's holes everywhere. Bumrah's only supposed to play 3 test matches, etc.
I think that's what this game will really sting India. When you say that they're short on pace, I mean, this has been the case for time immemorial with every side going away, because when you develop a team, usually your strengths lie in players who have grown up in certain conditions and creating advantages over oppositions that don't have players in those conditions, right? And the same way with India, every time senior teams go over to India, it's just like we don't have their spinners. They come over here, they're like don't have the same quicks. So that's why it's so hard to win away. This game will sting because they actually were in a position to win the game, but it was some slop that stopped them getting so far ahead to hit it, to bat England out of the game. They were in the positions that you said. They could have finished it, but they lose 7 for 40, they lose 6 for 30, and they don't take their catches. Now, that's got nothing to do with bowling fast, and that. So they engineered themselves into a position, they couldn't get it done, and that's why it's a psychological scar for them, because you cannot rely on 5 centurions every innings. I do think we're going to see a lot of flat wickets because that's Bazball's method. So I think their batters can expect a lot of runs. But when they get them, they have to bat England right out of the game, and then they have to take their catches, particularly against Bazball. Anyone who is a statistician, I do want to know if England offers more catches in the Bazball era than other teams do, which goes to show that are catches even more important, than they normally are. I don't know, but this will sting. This will sting.
I think. Even not to the point of India should have won the game. They shouldn't have lost the game, right? They should have just got to a point. Even in the third innings, when Rishabh and KL Rahul were on, their partnership was whatever it was, and they were 340 in front with 7 wickets in hand, 6 wickets in hand. At that point, you shouldn't lose the game from there, right? You should. They probably should have made England chase 450 or something like that, but that didn't happen. England played well enough. They got the wickets. They took the catches. England have won the game, But,
and they stayed in. That's the mental resilience of England as well. The number of positions that they went, no, we can do this, and then they did something extraordinary. It's the first few times it happens, it's novel and flamboyant and exciting, and now it's kind of this is a method now. So in many ways, it's the most ominous victory of theirs, to do it from these positions, sadly.
Fair fucks. Fair fucks. AskTGC, Pezza. This one is coming in from Twitter. Get in your AskTGCs. We'll be back again. We'll be actually back again tomorrow for because the West Indies Australia test match starts in a few hours' time. So we'll be back tomorrow for that one. But get in your AskTGCs in the comments below. So Gentlemen's Dub Club.
Oh, friend of the show.
AskTGC. Is humility the new saviour of Test cricket? They did say before the summer, need to be more humble. We're going to be elite humility.
Yeah, we were complaining so much about the insane stuff they used to say, and now I miss it.
Yeah.
Now I miss it.
Now it's sort of normal.
Yeah, that's
it's a troubling win.
Selfish of them, really.
Give us something.
Give us something.
Let us
a crack. Exactly. Crumbs to feed them. Just to subsist on.
Well, either way, a great game of anytime a test match goes to the last hour on day 5, you know it's going to be a good game. And look, it was what it was. It's a good start to the summer. It's a good start to the summer.
England in historic win. It was what it was.
Yeah, you can't have it all. We'll be actually in Edgbaston. We'll be there for the second test match. We'll be in Birmingham. So come along and say hello if you see us. And we'll see you guys live on stage with Jimmy Anderson next Thursday. Fuck, that's getting real close, Pezza. That's getting real close.
Sir Jimmy too.
Sir Jimmy.
I hope he reminds us of that.
See you guys next week. Cheers.